Welcome to the Government, Military, and Veterans Affairs Committee.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairman Brewer, members of the committee. I'm Steve Riese, spelled S-T-E-V-E-R-I-E-S-E, and I live in Plattsmouth. Question: what is the greatest threat to our nation's security? It's not ISIS, it's not the Russians, or even the Chinese. I quote, "The most significant threat to our national security is our federal debt." That was Admiral Mullen, who was, when he made that statement, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff back in 2011, when our federal debt was only $15 trillion. Today it stands at $22 trillion, a whopping 50% increase in just those 7 years. So we have a gargantuan debt, that's no secret. However, the debt's damaging impact on our nation's security is not very well known, damaging to our security and to our way of life. The relationship between security and the economy is complex and enormous. It's because security is achieved not only by military means, but by the whole of the economy. With unprecedented deficits, we can no longer rely on our traditional ability to fund hard power, that is, to buy things. We must also rely on soft power, that is, the ability to generate economic power and project our national values. Mullen continued, "The debt burden would inevitably constrain funding for a strong military and effective diplomacy." My own personal experiences from the Cold War in Germany, from the minefields in Bosnia, and supporting the troops in Iraq and Afghanistan through analysis, regardless of the situation, U.S. security posture was always stronger when the economy was doing well. The world looks to the U.S. for leadership and our ability to project power and values. While no one seriously believes that America will see a total collapse anytime soon economically, our fiscal future is bleak, and our ability to defend our values and way of life come into question. As a taxpayer, my individual share of the current federal debt is $180,000. $180,000. That's both depressing and outrageous. And it is good that we're all seated, because each and every taxpayer in this room owes $1 million of that future debt. That is, debt that Congress has already promised to overspend. The federal debt is expected to reach 145% of GDP by 2047. Sounds like a long way off, but debt over 100% is a classic failure point. We're going to spend $364 billion this year on interest, 8% of the federal budget, projected to go to $1 trillion per year by 2028, 10 years away. Think about that. That's $1 trillion not available for defense or infrastructure or education or Medicare every year. $1 trillion because our Congress is not mature enough to balance a checkbook. Even more tragically, the crushing debt becomes a crushing future for our children. It's a form of debt bondage under the federal government, which we place upon future generations. It's unquestionably morally wrong. As a taxpayer, I'm disheartened, and as a responsible parent, I'm outraged. We can fix the situation with the Convention of States, as has already been outlined. Won't go into detail there, but I do want to go back to one of our founders who understood this threat.
All right, go ahead and finish the founder's comment.
The founder's comment is Thomas Jefferson, who said, "We must not let our rulers load us with perpetual debt." And I place economy among the first and foremost of our virtues, and public debt as the greatest danger to be feared. Modern patriots couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Go to conventionofstates.com, press the button, sign the petition. More importantly, get 10 of your friends to do the same. When you sign the petition, then that sends a letter to your state legislator. You go on the list in their district as a supporter. We deliver those lists to the state legislators. It means something to them.